Hi Cancer, welcome to Higher Source Tarot for your seasonal tarot check, which will be for the months of May, June, July, and August for all Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I want to thank all of you who've been watching my channel, have subscribed, liked, commented, and shared my videos. I really appreciate that. And I'm having fun co-creating with you, and I will continue. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you as a subscriber and hit the bell if you want to be notified when new videos are posted, which is generally every week. However, this is an extra video, so I just posted a weekly tarot check a couple days ago. So anyway, if you're new, check back at least every week. And here we go for a seasonal tarot check for Cancer. All Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is for Cancer. And we're going to start off with May here. So we go May, we have the Tower, the Five of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Three of Wands. In June, we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Star card, the Five of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. July brings in the Ten of Wands, the Devil, Death, and the Page of Swords. And then in August we have the Four of Wands, Judgment, the Five of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles here. So, and then I'm going to do an additional oracle card reading here at the end. It's a love oracle, so we'll do that in a minute. But let's take a look at these cards. We have throughout the next 4 months represented here, certainly all of the elements. You have air, you have earth, you have water, and you do have fire here. You also have Aquarius, you have Scorpio, you have Capricorn. You know, overall, though, I do get the feeling of maybe a little bit stronger earth sign that you could be dealing with. So you begin in May, and it's quick and sudden change. However, I think a lot of us are feeling like the changes are, you know, you never know what's coming next, right? It's kind of hard to get your bearings when things continue to just kind of have, it's almost like this feeling of you just keep having the rug pulled from underneath you. And it's like, okay, now what, right? And so part of why people get into this habit of saying bad things happen in threes is because it generally takes 3 events before that person pivots and is willing to change their point of attraction. We get what we think about. And so what generally happens is somebody has an experience, a bit of contrast that they don't particularly love, and they continue to focus on it. Then more contrast continues to show up until they finally say, and in their minds, a lot of people believe this is true. Well, it's 3 things, so nothing can possibly happen. And their point of attraction changes. So you don't have to have 3 things in order to allow that to happen. You do have some conflict in May here, though. However, with this Five of Wands, it is a change card. I think some of you could end up leaving a relationship in May. I just feel like that is coming, that some of the things that have happened during this quarantine time have revealed traits and habits and just some things that you look at and feel like, I don't want this long term. This is not my life match. It may have been a soulmate, but there are others out there. I mean, there truly are billions of people in the world. So, you know, and a lot of times too, what will happen is a situation has to be removed in order for the person to move forward. So, for instance, you know, you could be in a relationship that you know is not that satisfying, and because of the integrity that you have, you know you're never going to cheat on that person. So if a new person was brought in, it would be irrelevant because you wouldn't leave. So sometimes we have to have these big shakeups because there's something better out there. And again, we've got this Seven of Cups, and this is about disillusionment. And this is also the universe telling you to take off the rose-colored glasses. So if you've been one where you keep looking at the good side of someone and keep trying to focus on those traits, thinking it's going to bring out more, but they keep doing things that aren't in alignment with that, the truth is you have beliefs about this person that you're not able to shake. There's something about them, you're aware of it, and and it's just like it's time to move on. However, I do think for some of you, you're going to have new love that comes in. But I do think that this is going to continue to kind of creep in here and there. And there's just a pattern that needs to be broken. In terms of money, I do think you have stability there. And you definitely have some high points later in the summer that will come in. So you end May with this Three of Wands. And this is like, it can be a card about waiting, but it's also a hint of progress. And so you may feel when this happens that you realize that you are supposed to be taking a different path. It really has to do with choosing a path. And so there might be some confusion about which path to take, especially if you've been in something for a long time. This is possible that it could be related to career too. I do get, first and foremost, some kind of a relationship ending, but it's possible for some of you, if your job was upended and maybe you've been on unemployment for a while, you're starting to second guess if you're called back, you're second guessing going back. Like there's just, I'm still kind of hanging on. I don't think I'm going to turn back, but it's possible. Again, I mentioned being single, so this is June, and you have the single lady here, but this is a prominent single lady. This is not somebody that's in a Five of Cups kind of position. This is somebody who stands tall, feels good about the situation. I think if you end a relationship, it's going to be a sigh of relief. You're going to be feeling better, looking better, feeling better about not having to be accountable to someone else who may be negative or just is of a different belief system. It's like their differences are just too big to overcome in terms of, I think, finances, in terms of even what they want out of life. I knew a couple that was married for a long time, like 20 years, and got a divorce because, the husband had been very successful, and his goal in life was to retire to a cabin in the woods, and the wife wanted to travel. And it's like, this is not going to work. I don't want to be on, 30 acres somewhere with no internet access and just sitting there fishing. And it was clear they had taken different life paths. And so they're both much more relieved now. And I feel like this is you, where you have this single lady card. This is also about manifestations on the material plane. So some of you may be finding that your finances are in pretty good shape regardless of what may have happened globally. And you have wish fulfillment here with the Star card. This is Aquarius. You may also meet somebody in June. I know that seems like, well, it's a pretty quick turnaround, but I do feel like that could potentially happen where you meet somebody new and they're very attractive. They're a completely different energy. I feel like they've been single for a while, so they're going to be ready to meet another person, a new person. It's more you that's going to kind of feel like, well, this is exciting, but would I want to date someone who's newly out of a relationship? And again, these timelines are somewhat fluid, so maybe you're saying May is not when I ended the relationship. It was really March or something. That's possible too. But with this Star card, it's all about healing. It's about moving forward, feeling free. There's freedom here. I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles and the Star card, there's definitely a new freedom and a new happiness. But then you get into this Five of Pentacles here, and I feel this is really more the other person where they're feeling somewhat left out. And it may be too that you had a group of people that you needed to separate with, or they've been separated from, because it's just one of those things that can happen at the end of a relationship. I also think, like I said, with some of you, it's a work-related issue where you're moving away from something that you've been with for a long time into something else, but you might have a person or two that goes with you or also leaves. And so there's some camaraderie there. There's a sense of kind of conviviality, like we're going because this just isn't the right thing anymore. But in June, you have this 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is happiness for everyone. And this is where I really feel like June is a nice month with the Star, the 10 of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles together. You have a sense of real joy. This is such a harmonious feeling. And it's all the way through your core. By the time you're walking into July, you are in sync, you are in flow with the universe. What do you want, Cancer? Because you should be intentionally and deliberately, focusing your point of attraction so that you can manifest your heart's desires, because that's what this is all about. It can be yours. Really, you can have, do, or be anything. Now you start off again with another 10. So you have the conclusion of a cycle here with this 10 of Wands, and I believe this is about putting down those burdens. I think you have a bit of a flare up with the person that you're dealing with in May, where there may be some things where you're still tied to them to some extent, like you have belongings of theirs, and it may be prudent to find a public place to exchange personal belongings, things like that, just to avoid a conflict. But I do think it's been burdensome on you. I think it's just been like, and I actually think it is with them too, even though I think they're trying to hang on to it. I feel like it's burdensome to them to the degree that they're not really being true to themselves. It's more about having a relationship than a mutual connection, and that's a problem. I do, like I said, I think you have new love coming in, and this is not the new love. This is something else. You have the devil here, so this is Capricorn. So certainly you're dealing with a Capricorn or somebody heavily dominated by Capricorn in their chart. This could certainly be them. And I do feel like there's a manipulative side to it, like they're trying to blame their life path on you, and we're all responsible for that. We make profound choices, we all do, and it's the choices that we make in the privacy of our own company that are the most powerful choices we can make. How do we judge other people? What do we say about other people? How do we treat other people? And when we have the courage to not betray someone else and not betray ourselves, that's when we learn what true integrity is, and we stay on our course, our life course, and really become one with our soul's purpose. But when we start messing around with betrayal, it's like you damage yourself, and like I said, profoundly. So you have the Death card right next door to it. So this is Scorpio. And this Death card is all about transformation. So I feel like the things, the elements in your life that have not been working are going to need to be cut out, whether it's this person or it's a job-related situation, but it's like an anchor holding you back. And I know it's scary to change. We tend to stick to what's familiar, but it's really time to change and let go and be free of it. It is time for a total transformation as you move forward through the summer. Let yourself be free. You don't owe anybody anything. You haven't done anything wrong, and it is time to move on and be free of it. So I do think with this Page of Swords right next to it, again, this is communication, and you may finally have to be very clear and saying this is a duplicitous thing to continue this. It's just not good for anyone. And I understand the familiarity of it and the desire to continue, but it's not good. And it just needs to be done. I do think, too, with this Page of Swords, this person may be doing some spying on you a bit, trying to keep contact through acquaintances and so forth. And they're certainly welcome to do that. I think a lot of people do that when they're having a hard time figuring out where to go next. We talk about the dark night of the soul as being when we lose our identity. We separate from all that we thought we were, but we don't have all that we're becoming. We haven't identified that yet. I don't think this is truly a dark night of the soul for anyone, but I do think that same fear, when that gets threaded through your life, it can be paralyzing. So it's time to, move forward, and I actually think you really will here, because you have a very nice energy coming up in the month of August. You have this Four of Wands. This is the 1111 card, and it's all about, this is definitely a marriage card. So I do think if you have new love that you are aware of, this will be it's a deep, true love. It's very balanced. It's just a happiness card overall. But I guess what I'm telling you is I feel like there is a real love here for you that could be something that can run the distance. I don't think that the previous relationships could, but it's also telling you that you're moving ahead in the 3D world. So things are coming into your manifestations are happening. Things are coming into your physical plane. Manifestations are happening. So when I told you back in June to start setting your intentions, by August, you'll be seeing them if you do that. Get very clear about what you want, and decisions are going to be made. You have the Judgment card here. And with this card, things move forward. There's healing that can occur here too. So this is also a time to let go of the past, and just to, we don't always shut the door on the past because we try to learn from it. But this is a time to accept the past experiences and just move forward. It's all about wisdom and balance and being true to yourself. So it's Judgment Day here. So there was a decision that's made. Again, I think you walk away from a relationship. I think that it's possible you walk away from work for some of you into something else. Either way, you're moving into a new situation. And some people are going to be impacted by that. But again, we can't just, in this lifetime, nothing stays still, right? So there is this Five of Cups, and I do feel like this is related to judgment. I think it's people around you that didn't want you to change. They don't want you to. They like this because it's, it feels helpful to them even though they're really stuck. If that makes sense, it's like they enjoy kind of keeping you muted, and you're not living up to your full potential either with this influence around you. So they are going to be sad, but I think this is going to be the cap to it too. This is going to be the end game to it, so that this energy will be leaving you. You go on to this Three of Pentacles here, and this is a card about new beginnings. It's all about new beginnings, further opportunities, and your work being rewarded. Okay, so the decisions that you make, the difficult decisions, will pay off. You're happy in this moment. You're building a foundation that's built to last. And I do, like I said, with this relationship, you've got the Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles all in the same month with Judgment. I think it's serious. It's a serious relationship coming in. It's somebody who's mature, who's financially stable, who has the same interests as you too, because again, I feel like you had somebody that was kind of fun, but their interests were too divergent from yours. And it became a situation where you were carrying them. So you are going into something that's much more balanced, and there's love here. Again, we see these altars. There's like, 3 different marriage cards here. So I feel it's a serious relationship coming towards you, a very stable time that you'll be entering. But you're going to have to kind of step around some things and be willing to let go of what doesn't serve you. So these are Whispers of Love Oracle cards, and we're going to just do a reading right over the top of these just due to space. This card represents you. The next one represents your love interest. This is the two of you blended together, and then this is your advice in the situation. So the first card that you have is Express Love Through Gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. So this is you in this reading, and with this card, these two are like head over heels in love. They're really looking at each other in a very, just with a lot of adoration. So, the male's offering the female this pearl. Pearls are associated with protection and love, and they're also used as a way to clear blocks to abundance. So if you're looking to have more abundance in your life, this is a sign for you, that it's time to get that brain heart coherence going. So really too, ultimately this card is about gifts having more meaning when they are given from your heart and not just on that material plane. So really being connected to, like I said, that brain heart coherence. So the next card, the one that's about this person, is called Simple Acts of Kindness here. And it's just really a beautiful card. This young girl with these animals, she's very gentle. It tells me this person has a gentle energy about them too. And kindness energizes you and brings happiness to those around you. Actually, I think it may be a boy, but Either way, this young person. And so when we see these animals, they have meaning in the universe. The squirrel suggests it's a time to create a space for giving, and the feathers are representative of this person's ability to become inspired. So they will definitely act in kindness. They're going to be able to, act in a way that attracts a lot of people. So there's a message in here, and it's basically to kind of be still and know, be still and know that love surrounds you. So the two of you together, I think that this is physical touch. I think you could be in for a very passionate physical relationship with this person. We won't get too, just to keep it PG here, but I don't see this card very often, and so it definitely means that there's a physical connection, and it's going to be very important in this relationship. Pretty hot and steamy relationship. So, it's just telling you that there's going to be an importance there. There's going to be very strong physical chemistry in this relationship. And again, there's just sort of this feeling of the two of you being very enamored with each other. The heart of the matter, there is more going on than meets the eye. So the next card and the final card, which is your advice in this, is that this is just there's a lot of depth to this. There's a higher power working on your behalf. The universe is at work here. You're watched over and loved, and this situation is being divinely guided. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know what she's talking about, there is nobody, I'm sick of this, it's coming. You just have to be open to it. So I love you so much, Cancer. I will be back in about a week for a May reading. So we are still going to do every month, even though we did the seasonal check. So check back and see what May will bring for you as well. I love you, and I'll see you then.